You're watching the Sporting Time Show with host Doug Thompson. Sponsored by Jewelry Barn and Pawn Shop.
Good evening and welcome to the Sporting Time Show. Doug Thompson here. Thank you for spending some time with us tonight, and also happy Thanksgiving, of course, Thanksgiving week, which I cannot wait to celebrate this Thursday. Also, I can't wait to introduce my cameo guest host, who I consider an epic head football coach from the years of 2005 to 2012. Now he is an administrator at Bowling Green High School. My friend, Coach Ben Bruni. Coach, welcome to the show.
Thanks, sir. I'm glad to be here.
Everything I said is accurate. I threw in my friend. I hope I could say that.
Not many people use that.
But it's great having you on the show, and I really believe that epic. Some of the best years for me was when you were coaching at Warren East. Of course, you had a number of different kinds of teams through your tenure there, but you always made it exciting for the media to either interview you pregame, certainly postgame, and then the way that you motivated your players during the game was fantastic.
Well, it was a fun time to be in South Central Kentucky, and now as an administrator, I look back on some of the ways that I did motivate our kids. Woo, I cringe a little bit, but I say that a little tongue in cheek. But it was a great time, full of wonderful players and amazing coaches, and then great schools that supported being successful in football, and I think that's carried forward. And you can see it now in the development of football in South Central Kentucky. I mean, this has become the premier place to play football in Kentucky, in my personal opinion. And I think it's a product of all those things: good kids, good coaches, and schools and school systems that support, the sport of football. Yeah, and
you went on to get certificates and other degrees, and you stepped away from football in 2012. You were at Adairville. You were the principal at Russellville High School. Now you're the principal of the 9th grade freshman class at Bowling Green High School. Was it difficult for you to make that decision to step away from coaching?
It was. I believe coaching is just another form of leadership. And the principles that you use in coaching are the same principles that you use in running a school or running an organization or running a fast food restaurant, if that's what you're doing. So in a lot of ways, I've gotten to continue to do what I love to do. What I do really miss is I miss that special interaction that you develop with kids in that coaching environment. That doesn't exist elsewhere because you're able to push kids in a way on the athletic field that you may not be able to do in other places. And then, probably the most for me is I miss the camaraderie of fellow coaches. It's a special bond. You're not making any money. You get yelled at on Friday night. Everybody loves you when you win, but you don't win all the time. And when you don't win, it's one of those few jobs where for some reason society has grown comfortable saying fire them, even though that people are working really hard. So that brings people together, whether it's football or other sports, and it's a special bond.
We've got about a minute and a half left. I want to ask you, I saw a post recently from a coach's wife from South Central Kentucky. I won't mention who it was, just talking about the amount of hours that a coach puts in and all that they do, which most people don't realize that are outside looking in. And I think at the time you had a fairly young family. How does that play into it? Because, it is 7 days a week when you're coaching, many, many long hours.
I'll sum it up like this. It's amazing the number of people that somehow end up having babies during the dead period. And it's just, coaches are committed to their teams, and oftentimes they're wonderful family men and whatnot, but a lot of times families have to understand that, it's almost like being with somebody who's in the military or being with somebody who has an extremely demanding job. That person's going to be away for a while. And the sacrifices that coaches' families make are immense. But these are people, men and women, who are passionate about making a difference. And So in the end, a lot of times it requires a little sacrifice to do those great things that they do.
Yeah, no kidding. And well said, Coach. Stay right there. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to have two coaches on, Mikey Benton and Coach Hood, and then Coach Bruni and myself will wrap things up. We're going to take a short break. More of the Sporting Times right here on WNKY NBC 40. Welcome back to the show. I'd like to bring in our next guest, who is the head coach of the Russellville Panthers, the #1 seed in Class 1A as they continue to pursue a championship. Mikey Benton. Coach, welcome to the show.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
You know, we talked a little bit off air. This is a little tricky because the show airs after you play Friday night, but you play Newport Central Catholic. Talk about what it's been like this week preparing for that team as far as the players go. A lot of excitement, a lot of energy.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it. You know, this, of course, is a team that we're not very familiar with, but we treat it the same, you know, every week. For us, it kind of changes up because Newport is a team that, you know, loves to throw the ball around. You know, they come in with a young quarterback who's only a sophomore, but he's thrown for 2,000 yards already on the year. So, you know, this is a kid who's definitely confident in himself. And, you know, they're well coached. And, you know, the guys, you know, on our end just have been dialed in, focused. You know, we've done fairly well defensively on the year. So, you know, these guys are definitely excited for the test coming in for sure.
Yeah, I mean, the tail of the tape, you've only allowed it as an average 10.7 points per game. One of the tops in Class 1A. What I thought was an interesting stat when I looked at it earlier is that your offense is 2-to-1 rushing to passing. But that ratio, I haven't seen in a long, long time at Russellville, that you got, you know, over 1,000 yards in passing. Just talk a little bit how that really has opened up your offensive strategy.
Yeah, and trust me, like what you just spoke to, all of the old alum from Russellville let me have it too, you know, when I came out having to pass the ball like so. But, you know, in the time frame of when I took over, I know that Russellville always has athletes. And, you know, of course, coming in time frames of keeping everybody tucked in tight and running the football, you know, sometimes it would take away from those mismatches that you have with guys with speed and size. So, you know, we definitely still have our heavy sets that we come in and, you know, try to pound the ball, but we definitely have opportunities to where we spread people out, try to put our athletes in space. And, you know, the more mismatches we can create for teams defensively with our speed, you know, we definitely will.
Yeah, you have definite speed. And Coach, again, being the #1 seed in Class 1A, you have home field advantage. Kind of talk about that as you're progressing through the playoffs. What is that like for you and your team?
Oh, it's huge. You know, of course, first, not even having to worry about getting guys there early, you know, to worry about getting on a bus and driving however far, you know, just being able to come. Then the environment, once you get inside Ray, you know, it's just been huge. Our student section's been amazing all year, you know, alum who are coming in. And, you know, just everybody's piled in there, you know, just it's a different type of energy and a different vibe once you come inside Ray on those playoff Friday nights, you know, and I absolutely love it.
Yeah, and of course, if you've never been to your stadium, I encourage fans, football fans, to go because you'll see a great football team in Russellville Panthers and an unbelievable stadium. Now, Coach, it's every coach's goal to have their team play and practice or get ready for a game the week of Thanksgiving. And again, just kind of talk about the excitement of the possibility and your guys maybe having a turkey dinner together and getting ready for future playoff games.
Well, I mean, the excitement's definitely there, but even more with the excitement is the focus. You know, I tell these guys literally, okay, you know, with us having that #1 beside our name and the RPI, we're going to catch every team's best shot.
Yep.
So you definitely can't come in on a Friday just feeling good just because, you know, that one's beside our name. We got to come out and showcase why it's there. And, you know, my guys have been pretty hungry all year. You They haven't got too high about anything. And, if there's ever a moment to where it does come, I feel like I do a pretty good job of bringing them back down. So, it's been pretty good moving forward. And, I'm definitely excited for the opportunities ahead.
We got about 30 seconds, Coach. For you as a coach, have you hit that sleepless night syndrome as you progress through the playoffs where you're thinking constantly about the game plan?
Oh, that starts all the time anyway. I never sleep. On average, I sleep about maybe 4 hours a night. So, yeah, I'm always up.
It must be nice to be young. But anyway, Coach, thank you very much for joining me today. Basically, a pregame interview with you. Good luck to the Russellville Panthers. What a great season. We are cheering you on, and good luck tomorrow night. Thank you, Coach.
I appreciate that.
All right, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, more of the Sporting Times right here on WNKY NBC 40. Welcome back to the show. Now, I have two of the most dynamic coaches, one in studio today that doesn't coach anymore, and my next guest, the head coach of the Allen County Scottsville Patriots, Coach Brad Hood. Coach, thank you for joining us today. As you know, you play Friday night. We air our show Saturday night, but you're here kind of doing a preview of the game. 2009, 2010, two undefeated seasons. 2010, you make it to the championship game. So this is, going into postseason is nothing new for you. Talk about your team getting ready for the quarterfinals and what you expect.
The guys have been just really, really excited, really working hard, and, just been a joy to continue to be able to be around week after week. I feel like they're still working hard to try to improve. They're still practicing hard. They're still each day becoming better teammates with one another. And, I feel like they understand what's at stake, and they understand that, we've got a big road ahead of us, but we're going to give it our best effort, and we're going to go in and do the best we can to play as a team and to try to bring home a regional championship.
Coach, you've won 7 of the last 8 games. What do you see in the team that you're going to be playing that you might be able to exploit or take advantage of?
Well, offensively, I think there's a really, really good football team. But, this year they're a little different. Last year they spread the ball out a lot more, did a lot of quick hitting type stuff. This year they kind of base everything off the big running back. The Mormon kid, who is exceptional football player. He's already verbal to UK. He's probably the best we've seen in a long time. But a lot of the things run through him now instead of just kind of all over the field. But they're still very physical up front. They rely on that run and gun, and then they do have the athletes when they throw them slip screens and passes downfield that can hurt you if you're not doing your job. Defensively, I think they're very big, they're very physical, and they're very quick. We're just going to have to, work and earn things. It's not the type of defense that you're probably going to get a ton of big plays on. So we're going to have to settle in and handle 4 and 5 yard plays and try to get drives going and, try to wear them down. That's going to be our goal.
Coach, I was kind of looking at your stat line, and interestingly, your run to pass ratio is about 50-50, which is not typical Allen County. I mean, you guys grind it out. Again, talk about how that opens up your offense having the ability to pass this season.
Well, I think that's just kind of one of the things about our program. Over the years, we try to do our best to set our offense up to best fit our kids. Back in the old Hood versus Bruni days, it was a lot more pound and ground and power football because we had some really, really, really good running backs. We had quarterbacks that did a good job of reading option, and we were big and physical up front. Now we've got a little more athletes on the side. We've got, a lot of depth at receiver. Our line is not as big, but they're smart and they move pretty well. And we got a quarterback that can chuck it a little bit. So we try to fit the tendencies of our guys. And, we try to control the pace with no huddle. Sometimes we'll go very, very fast with it. Sometimes we'll go really, really slow with it. But we're trying to just put people in bad situations and be able to make plays off that.
Coach, we got about 45 seconds left. You've been through this a number of times. How great is it to be able to practice Thanksgiving Day?
Man, I tell you, we talked about that last night. Probably one of my favorite joys of coaching. Fortunate enough, I've got to practice on 2 Thanksgiving days in my time at Allen County. It's always special. It's always neat to be able to spend a day that means that much with these football players and their families. And, we would love to have that opportunity. We hope we have a shot at that opportunity. We're going to go out Friday night and try to fight our tails off for that opportunity.
Well, they're going to get the whole Fighting Hoods Friday night. Now, Coach, you're in the class. We got about 10 seconds left. Can we get a Go Patriots from your class?
Yeah, I think we can. We're going to try to get them fired
Hurry up.
here.
We got 4 seconds.
I can scan them real quick. But yeah, this is my civics class. Here we go.
All right.
Guys, on 3, go Patriots. 1, 2, 3.
There we go. Thank you, Coach Hood. All right, we're going to take a short break. Thanks again, Coach. More of the Sporting Times right here on WNKY NBC 40. Welcome back to the show again. Thank you to Coach Hood and also to Coach Mikey Benton for being a guest today. Now, I wish we could have recorded some of the interaction between Coach Bruni and Coach Hood. Of course, we couldn't have aired that. It was just so funny. You know both of those gentlemen. Coach Hood, you coached against. You guys are friends. You hired Mikey Benton at Russellville. But it's just so fun to see you guys get together.
It is a good time, and both of those gentlemen are exceptional men. Brad and I have known each other since college, I always joke I had to get out of coaching when I won the last game between the two of us, and I had to go out on a winner because it was pretty hard to beat him. And then with Coach Benton, I was fortunate to come into the fold at Russellville High School and be able to hire him as our head football coach. And he, obviously an extremely successful alumni from Russellville High School, went on to UK where he played football, and then has since come back and really kind of continued the tradition of excellence that is Russellville High School football.
Yeah, he is, like I told you off here, he's just been great for media, for us, accessibility. Now, we have 5 teams. Again, we tape before the games and we air after the game. So Coach Bruni and I don't know the results, even though it's Saturday night. But we've got 5 teams vying for a regional championship. Russellville will be playing at home. Glasgow will be at home. Logan County at home. Logan County really turned it on late in the season. South Warren will be home. Allen County will be on the road. You know what it's like to be playing late into November, but 5 teams.
It's an amazing statistic, and credit to all the teams around here. As I said earlier in the program, it's really a credit to the commitment to football in this area of Kentucky, all the way down to the youth leagues and those people that are organizing those things. Across the several counties in the Sky Conference, there's just a push to be good at football because when kids are involved in football, generally they do better in school. They do better socially and emotionally. So it's just a great thing that's happening, and these 5 teams, along with those teams that are out now, they're reaping the benefits of it. Yeah.
Now Russellville, I know you've been to many of their games, but they're vying for a region championship. I think the last time was 2016. Talk about the stadium and what that environment is like.
there is almost nothing comparable to standing in Ray Stadium on a Friday night. It's something of a throwback. You know, you turn the lights out in town, everybody comes to the game. You know, you can go up into the middle of the stands and meet people who have sat in those stands for 50 or 60 years and watched generations of football. The guys holding the chains are greats. It's a small community and the families are tight. I think one of the benefits of it is you know, you talked about Logan County and Coach Adler and the job he's done.
Yeah.
You know, those are two districts that really get along well, and you know, they're fiercely competitive against each other, but they root for each other when the other one is having some success. So it's a pretty neat environment over there right now.
Yeah, and what has always amazed me about Russell, even when John Myers was there, he always put a competitive team on the field, and they didn't have a huge pool to pull from. So they've done a great job. We've got just about 90 seconds left. Again, Thanksgiving is this Thursday. Do you have big plans? How do you celebrate it?
I try to eat as much as I can. Honestly, you know, I get around to a couple of Thanksgivings and whatnot, but more than anything, you know, I really try, and I think a lot of educators do, is just to reset over that small period and get ready for that 3-week run that's going to take us into the Christmas holiday.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. You know, are you a pumpkin pie guy or apple pie guy?
You know, I don't discriminate. It's just, you know, whatever you throw my way, I'm going to be happy with it.
Well, you know, Coach, this has been a lot of fun. And I'm always going to call you Coach. It's just the way it is with me. But it's been a pleasure having you on the show this week. Of course, Sporting Times live stream is taking a little break. We start up basketball here in just a few weeks. So you can go to stfanclub.com, watch the Purples, watch the Gators. But it has been a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed it.
I have. Go Purples.
Yeah, go Purples. All right. And go South Warren, Allen County, Logan County, and Glasgow, Russellville. And again, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. God bless you. We'll be here next week, same time, same place. For Doug Thompson, Coach Bruni, have a great week.